Drama at Nyayo Stadium on Friday when one of Raila Odinga's, that's earlier today, one of Raila Odinga's bodyguards was roughed up by fellow police officers. The officer had attempted to forcefully accompany his boss to the VIP entrance at the stadium when police officers, including from the presidential escort and military stationed outside, blocked him. You can see from the clip, you can see it from the video, they had to block him. I mean, it's, they have to see your credentials. You can't just walk through. But can you imagine the shock? Because you also, should Raila have turned to ensure that he was with his
his bodyguard?
Different pay grade.
To guard his bodyguard. To watch
he could have
out
asked him to wait then or stop, or you can't pass here. You know?
My understanding is state functions are so particular to the point where the caterers have to come from a specific hotel. The service providers, tents, chairs, and has to come from somebody specific, particular, because it's all about security leading up to the head of state, the commander-in-chief. So any protocol that's put in place is to ensure that the number one, the commander-in-chief, is safe. So for you, if you're not part of the government protocols, it's fine. If you're a bodyguard, friend of, you know, whoever has come as a visitor, but at the end of the day, are you in the best interest of the country 001? If you're not, I am sorry, but you'll have to take a back seat. I'm not surprised. There are very, very crazy protocols when it comes to an event where the head of state is and other dignitaries. I guess they feel that in that kind of an event, it's so secure that you don't need your bodyguard.
I was having that exact same discussion, sorry Coach, with our producer Ndenga earlier on. He's like, if you're going into a room where the president is, safety should really be your last concern. But I also see where the bodyguard is coming. I'm paid to do this one thing, which is protect this person. So I'm going to do my job regardless. But it also made me wonder about how shagala bagala we are, because like you said, there's clear protocols. So he should know by the time that he gets there, I can't get past this point. This is where we stop. But he went in as if like he had not been briefed. And you see these lapses all the time whenever there's a state function. You see someone, you see like, oh, they said the number plate is upside down, but that's on purpose. Or they did this or they did that. So you realize that as much as there's protocols, there's also a lot of vibes and inshallah going on. So I can't blame the bodyguard, honestly, for doing his job.
I think it's just a thing of another thing that happened exactly like this. You remember the Supreme Court when the NASA people had taken their case to the Supreme Court and they were not allowed to have their security people with them within the premises of the Supreme Court. Right. Yeah, and they were complaining when Wetangula was there. Fungulia Musalia, you know, he was really whining about it. This is because they assume, first of all, this is a military event. They assume that this is the safest place you can ever be. The body is safe, the president is here, everything is safe here. You don't need extra security to be here. But unfortunately, also, these policemen that are attached to these VIPs, this is exactly what they are supposed to do. Be there with this person at all times, because if something happens between hapo kwa mlango na mali atafika mali kuna security, then you will be held accountable. Also, apart from that, you guys go to events. Have you ever experienced this thing where mpaka jina yako iko kwa list, but you now have to prove to security? I don't know what artist was that was telling us that back in the day, people used to be even stopped from their own concerts. Wewe ndio jua kali.
I don't even know what you were saying. Do you know how many times I have to convince the guy here at Nation that I work at Nation? And I'm like, if you look at that screen behind you long enough, I promise, kuna promo, unajua you need to trend. And they're like, see, I think maybe it's because I don't have makeup. I don't know how I looked before. But then there's so many places and you have to accept. Initially when I had just joined the Nation, it was a problem. Because I'm like, but you are calling me by my name, but there's protocol. There has to be, and there's a whole process. I don't tell everyone. But there's a whole...
You're back with I'm not aware that you're supposed to
kufungua mlango, and then you're there like, but no, I'm going to host the trend.
It's happened so many times at a gig. I just left the stage, but now I'm being told to leave the premises. It's usually a mess. Like the gig is called Shin City. Mimi ndio Nyashinsky. Na bado unafrizia na mbona tuonyeshe ID.
And also this is the third time it is happening to the Prime Minister. Remember the other time it was his brother when he was going to, I don't know what event that was, and then he was with his brother Oburu, and then Oburu is there being manhandled. Look at He had to go back and say, hey,
he's with me.
Ne mimi. I think then the safest thing is to hold his hand.
You
at every checkpoint,
like
just so that
to the
you
club
know.
with your younger like brother or sister or
And
then you have to come back, and then it's like
Exactly.
Okay, we have to continue. But you know, when they're frozen, and you know you'll be frozen too, because even you entered illegally, you have a complimentary. You have to be like, Cindy, you're now
on
you're in
your
the pass.
No, there are those friends who ushaingia anasema niko na ule, and then they say nani hebu kuja, and then wewe wapi yako, wapi ID, and then wewe pia ongea ukiwa nje.
Wewe pia toka. Okay, so